Well, Paul, I've decided to do a pre-match interview on a Thursday evening to look ahead at the next fixture, which in this case is Limavady on Saturday. So maybe I'll kick off by saying, how's your week going?
Oh, it's gone okay. Obviously, we're like most teams. Speaking to some managers in the past week, are with injuries, sickness, suspension. So as good as most clubs, in fairness, but we'll have to be at our very best on Saturday getting out of this game.
And you've got over the euphoria of your 95th minute winner last week.
Yeah, as this is on Saturday, the team, in fairness, we had some changes, give boys games, and I think we started the game with four strikers. So we had a lot of offensive momentum, and as this is, we had a good report on Newington the week before against Bangor. Quite unfortunate in large parts of the first half play, so we knew it was going to be a difficult game. So I'm glad we got over the line at the end, and Daniel Cairns came up trumps for us.
Well, you did do well to get over the line last Saturday with so many players unavailable. Can we expect the return to availability of the likes of James McCarthy, Josh Key, Ronan Wilson, or Dylan O'Kane, who all missed out last week?
Dylan was suspended. Unfortunately, he's picked up a virus, so he's not training tonight. This is Josh's first session after the Anna game, so he's had difficulties, unfortunately, with his injury. James McCarthy's still out, which is unfortunate because, again, an experienced player for the club. And who's the other one there again?
Ronan, James McCarthy,
Ronan's
Josh.
not training tonight, so again, that's not ideal because we would like him training. But again, we're just monitoring his injury at the minute. So we are, like as I say, most clubs down to the bone. So, but it's no excuse because as I say, the players came on last week, seeing what Championship life was about, and give a good account themselves.
Yeah. Before we get on to Saturday's opponents, Limavady, and while we're still talking about injuries, maybe a good time to ask about a couple of longer term injury absentees. Two centre backs, of course, Jamie Robinson and Sean O'Kane, and then of course, almost the forgotten man around here, Jamie Glover, who you've actually been deprived of Jamie's services all season so far.
Yeah, well, Jamie's up for an operation now in late January. Obviously, we're working on it at the minute because he's getting major surgery. And as you rightly say, Jamie offered us that kind of balance on the left hand side, experienced player, championship level, and has got good qualities with his left foot. On the injured defenders, Robinson has obviously coming back, has after seeing a consultant on his knee problem, was a 12-week window, so he should be available in 4. And young Sean O'Kane's coming along nicely after his ankle break on the physio, so Sean should be available sooner rather than later. He's a good young pro, does everything that's asked of him. His injury and his rehab has come on quicker than anticipated, so again, we'll welcome him back. So we have got some good young defenders at the club, but unfortunately we've missed out on them. And we maybe haven't talked about it enough because they are key players, and when you lose key players, they can have an impact on your form. So it will be good to get them back sooner rather than later.
Well, of course, Limavady next up, one of your old clubs. You suffered a bit of a drubbing against them last time at Blanchflower, which I'm sure will have hurt. Does that make it easier to focus minds and add resolve to this weekend?
Well, it just puts Limavady as a team into perspective. You know, they came here that day. A lot of them would have played here for the first time. I think they would have been quite impressed with the setup at the stadium, and at that time we were going really well in terms of run of results. So they really turned us over that day, and they deserved it. Now, looking back at the game after, funny, we actually played in large parts quite well. It's just Limavady were ruthless with their finishing, and some of the goals were really good. Maybe at times that day as well, we were a bit naive with our defensive line, but we were still forming that at that time. And Lewis and back unit, in fairness, have done really well of recent weeks on that, getting that balance right. So the Limavady last time, as I say, were worthy winners. We got what we deserved that day. And it really taught us a lesson that day. And as I says, we're able to kind of regalvanate from that, and we got a one at Newington the following week. So we need to be at our very best on at the showgrounds against a very good young, talented, experienced squad. And so they've got a nice mix of the two, and they've really adapted well to championship life.
You're not that surprised at how well they've performed this season?
No, I'm not, because I know players that they've got, like Crowner. I had a Stewart, the Graham Crowner cap, the sure he's captain, I like, but he's at the back for them, and Crowner's a good leader. Mickey McCrudden had a Stewart as well, good player, talented player, experienced player, and Stevie Larry obviously will be up for awards this year, I would imagine. Larry takes himself serious, good leader, very influential player on the pitch. He actually dictated a lot that last game here, and refereed the game as well. But he is quite unique, and he should be probably playing Premiership. Stevie's good enough to play Premiership, and I've told the players that tonight in the team talk. So listen, Limavady's a good side. They're no slouches. If you get anything out of them, and their run of form in the last set of games, sequence of games has been very good as well. If you get anything out of them, then you've had to work very, very hard and earn it, and that's what we'll have to do if we want to get anything on Saturday.
Yeah, they're on a good run at the minute, four wins in the bounce. But you know, given the topsy turvy nature of this league, you can argue that makes them vulnerable.
Well, they've lost a couple of games at home, which I'm sure they've been preaching to the players, and they are, they have got players who can score goals and make goals. Young Toys, for example. John Butcher has been a key player for them as well. I see young Martin scored last week as well. He's a good young player from the area. So listen, they have a good catchment area. Paul's done well in recruiting some good young players, and more importantly, he's recruited some good experienced players. One I forgot to mention as well is Marty Gallagher. Like Marty Gallagher, an ex-Institute player as well.
The goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper, who Marty knows his way around the league as well, has had a good career more recently at Korean and playing there. So as I say, they're definitely a good side, and maybe people took their eye off them at the start of the season. But I did say to Stevie Larry when I spoke to him early season, pre-season, I just says, look, I feel that you will be one of the teams that will put a push on, and I was right. And as I say, they're in second spot at the moment, and deservedly so.
Would you say there was perhaps a little bit of overconfidence amongst your own squad that day? Because as you said earlier, just as we've been chatting here, we've been going well, and obviously Limavady had just come up, just been promoted. So do you think maybe there was a wee bit of overconfidence in the?
Well, it's an experience. Overconfidence is maybe another term for it as well, but definitely an experience. We didn't manage the game very well that day. But as I says, when they realised then what was happening, they did try to get into the game. But Limavady, they were relentless, and I anticipate the same on Saturday. So we have to be relentless back, and we have to match them. We have to match their aggression. And as I say, we've got some very good football players, and I've told our players that. But it's not enough to win games at this level. You have to have a mixture of a whole bag of things, and mentality is one of them. And your mentality is right, and if it's not right, then you're going to end up with nothing. You have to really dig that out.
So Limavady kicks off the very busy Christmas period, and you have a big distraction in there too at the start of January. I suspect you'll tell me it's all about taking one game at a time, and I'm sure that's the right approach. But is it all about staying relevant at the top over the Christmas period, and then perhaps using the window to strengthen or trade?
Well, difficulties in window as players that's available suitable. Every club will be looking to strengthen, particularly if there are certain areas of their team that they look at, and we're no different. It is, I know it's an old cliche, but it is fact. Like, you just can't, you have to take each game as it comes. We have two important league games against teams that's above us. So if you want to put a dent in the league, you have to try and do something on them games. And as I say, it is not helped by injuries and some suspensions and some concerns around performance. But as I say, the players now have played relatively well, but there's still aspects of a young squad that they need to learn. At the start of the season, we were top relegation candidates. Everybody had us going down. Even people would have been following us because we lost so many players. Unfortunately, them players, most of them, well, all of them actually, Tuesday thought it was best to go elsewhere. So we knew that we had a good undercurrent of young players who we felt would kick on. And that's what they've done now. Whether we've kicked on enough is another question. And that's where sometimes people get a wee bit disappointed, particularly people that follow the club, and I can understand why, but we need more from the players. So we have to trust them. They have to go out and give their best. We have to back them. They also have to be told when they're not going so well, and that's where we're at the minute. And this is these next two games against two very good teams who's in and around us, and particularly Dundee as well, who've been consistent in their championship performances. If we're not at our best, we'll not get what we need from the game. So we have to be really at it and be as I say, mindful and physical.
So what about the transfer window? Or are you playing your cards very, very close to your chest?
Well, there's always going to be players we're interested in fairness, and we're kind of looking at it, and there's players in our team as well who are a wee bit disappointed with their game time, so we might have to speak to them as well. So there probably will be ones going out, there's no question, and there probably will be ones coming in, but it all depends on the finances as well, because we've got a budget that we stick to, and we don't really want to diversify from it. So we have to try and get someone that suits the team, suits what the team needs, get the right type of character as well, which is always difficult because that's all what teams need now. You need good characteristics to be a successful team, not just about ability. So it's going to be an interesting one though, but I do anticipate movement on it both ways.
Okay. That's great, Paul. I know you're busting to get out on the training ground with the guys tonight, and thanks for your time. And let's hope Limavady on Saturday goes well, weather permitting.
Thank you.